If you're wondering which evolution should I upgrade first, or you're wondering which second evolution you should get to complement your whole deck pool, well, don't worry, this is your video, because in today's video we're gonna be ranking the whole evolution system in a tier list, so you know which evolution is the best and how it does in the meta. We're gonna have 3 points that we're gonna be evaluating in this video. The first one will be how is it doing in the meta. The second one will be how good synergizes with other cards, and in how many decks we can use this evolution. And lastly, we will be taking care of how does it really affect the game. So we will have those 3 points. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe and also check out all my other content. So we're gonna start with the Evo Spirit, and the Evo Spirit, it's been the worst evolution in the whole game. To be honest, doesn't really have a lot of impact in the whole matchup scenario, and this is because I think this is the most balanced Evo ever, but the fact that the other Evos just deal way more damage or survive to spells are just like super good. One way to buff the Evo Spirit, I think, will be make it 1 cycle. I think that will be pretty good for this one, and maybe we'll go to the tier C, but we will be leaving this one in the tier F, the worst evolution ever. So now let's go ahead and let's go with the next evolution. Now in tier C, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the evolutions that they're good, but they're just not as strong because of the meta. For example, dagger dodges, Rex wall breakers, for example. So we will be starting with the Evo wall breakers over there, and the fact that dodges just basically destroys the Evo wall breakers makes them way less valuable at the time to build the deck around them, you know. So that's why Mega Knight isn't that strong, because sometimes the opponent can just ignore everything and just build a big push, and just pretty much take our tower. So that's why they're just not as good, but they're still decent. For example, against Princess Tower, they're still pretty good, I will say. And of course, a good evolution, but not the best option right now. So we will go with the next evolution, and those will be the Royale recruits. I think Royale recruits are in a pretty good spot as a card, as an evolution, but in terms of meta, they're not the best, because Evo Wizard is everywhere. Evo Bomber is still there, you know, like there is a lot of Tesla. Evo Tesla is pretty good against Evo recruits, and a lot of poison, a lot of spammy units that, you know, they can just spell out everything, or a lot of AoE damage, which can wreck or Evo recruits. Hopefully we will be able to see them a lot. But by the way, if you're pushing to, I don't know, to like League 8, League 9, or you want to get to League 10, don't worry, Evo recruits are just as good. Don't worry, I'm just talking about the top ladder. All right, still pretty good evolution. Definitely, if you want to use it, make sure you have a spell to delete units like Wizard, like, I don't know, maybe to take care of the Tesla or something like that, because if not, you will have a hard time breaking through. All right, let's go with the next evolution, and those will be the Evo Bats. I mean, Evo Bats got a nerf, and the fact that you can zap them away or throw a rage, or now you even have time for a snowball, makes them way less powerful. And to be honest, like, Evo Bats are just not as strong, because dagger dodges also wrecks like minor cycle decks, some Hawks deck. But I'll say that bats are pretty good against Void, so I don't know if I want to put them in tier B or C. It's between those two, so I don't know. I will leave it in B, because I think they're pretty good, but I think just normal bats are just better in a cycle deck, because you just want them to, you know, to make sure the Void doesn't wreck your whole unit. So I will say pretty much that's it. We can use Evo Bats in Giant Graveyard, in Mega Knight, but as you can see, Mega Knight is not super strong, at least getting to all of these, like League 9, League 10. Of course, like, it's way more difficult to use these decks, because, you know, Dodges is everywhere, Fisherman is everywhere, and of course, like, Zap and Arrows are just everywhere. So we will just leave it in tier C. I mean, they're still pretty good. If you have them, use it, definitely. I will bring some decks for you later, guys, so make sure to check out my channel. And well, now, long time no see, dear friend. We will go with the Evo Battle Ram. And why Evo Battle Ram is Tier C? Because it was looking pretty good, right? When it was released, it was pretty broken. The fact that it could push like P.E.K.K.A, Jan Skelly, and Mighty Miner, well, that was pretty strong. But now, since they just nerfed Evo Battle Ram, can't push anymore troops like Jan Skelly, like P.E.K.K.A, or like Mighty Miner, and this sucks because these actually make the cards super strong, and without that is way more difficult to break through or at least get the Evo Battle Ram into the tower, especially with a lot of Evo Tesla, Little Prince, Bowler, you know, basically a lot of units which actually deal quite easy with the Evo Battle Ram, you know? So that's why it's here. For decks, we have like P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam, of course, Mega Knight Bridge Spam. We have some rare recruits with Evo Battle Ram that could work, you know, but nothing really super strong or at least super broken, you know, to clean up that easy. All right, we will go with our next card, and we will go with, you know what, like here, I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not sure if I should put the Evo Mortar here, because I think Evo Mortar is decent in Miner Cycle right now. In Graveyard Poison, for example, like Graveyard Poison Phoenix, it's actually quite a good combo with Little Prince. So, you know what, let's put it in B. I think B is pretty solid, especially because we can play a lot of control decks. So, and we can also play E-Giant, and E-Giant is kind of decent. So I will put it here in B. As I already tell you, Miner Cycle, E-Giant, and definitely Graveyard is one of the top tier decks for Mortar. So if you have Mortar, the best evolutions which you can pair the Evo Mortar will be, for example, the Evo Knight. The Evo Knight definitely, Evo Bulk and Archers, I'll say. Those are pretty good. And Wizard, maybe. We can do something like that with like Wizard, Monk, Earthquake. Something like that should be pretty good. So, all right, let's go again with the tier B. And in tier B, I will put the Evo Barbs. Now they have a little less HP, which makes them decent, to be honest. You can deal with them like in a better way now, but they're still pretty strong. In Lava, they work super solid. You can use it in Giant too, like in RG. There is a lot of decks which you can throw in the Evo Barbs, like Golem, for example. What else? I don't know, like a weird Expo deck, a Hawk. So you can put them like in a lot of decks, you know. It synergizes pretty well, especially because it's a beatdown meta, so you will be facing like Giants, RGs, some P.E.K.K.A s, sometimes Golem. So I'll say that Evo Barbs are in a good spot, I'll say pretty much. So let's go with the next evolution, and that one will be, well, for me, will be Evo Zap, you know, because I don't know, it should be tier C, because I don't think it's as bad as those. But the fact that Evo Zap now doesn't kill Mother Witch, doesn't kill Skelly Drax, doesn't kill like a lot of units that it used to kill, like the Magic Archer, for example. But the fact that it still kills Evo Archers, Evo Firecracker, makes the card so good. And of course, the resect factor is quite good. So I'll say pretty much you can leave it here in B. You can use it with Lava Hound, with Giant, with P.E.K.K.A, I don't know, with Logbait. There is a lot of combos that you can actually make around Evo Zap. And it's our first small spell, you know, like the Elixir. We can pretty much throw in every single deck, so you can try a lot of things. So that's why it's in B, because it synergizes with a lot of decks and archetypes also. So the fact that it synergizes so good with everything could be like tier A, but we'll just leave it in B because it's not as strong as it used to be, because before it was a 2 elixir fireball and now it's just a 2 elixir Evo Zap. All right, let's go with the next evolutions, and now we will have here the well, the Evo Skellies will be actually in A, so I'm not sure. Hold up. We will have here the Evo Firecracker, sorry, common Skelly. We're gonna talk now about the Evo Firecracker, because I think Evo Firecracker is just super strong, but now doesn't survive to arrows. So if Evo Firecracker still survives to arrows, will be definitely A. because she got so many buffs, right? Like the sparkles deal more damage. It has some slow effect, I think. So it definitely goes in B. Just because she doesn't die from arrows. I think she's pretty annoying, but cards like Void, Arrows, Evo Zap are clearing Firecracker so easy. But still, if you have Firecracker, there is plenty of decks which you can use the Evo Firecracker. I'll say the best deck right now will be Evo RG. I think Evo RG with Firecracker, regular Firecracker even, works quite good. Of course, Hawk. Actually, I wouldn't use Hawk. I would use Royal Hawks. I think Royal Hawks are great with Firecracker, especially. Some Mortar decks also work pretty good. A Drill definitely. So still quite good combos still out there. Also, you can use it in Giant, like if you have Goblin Giant or regular Giant with Rage, in Night Witch and something like that. You know, like spammy. And of course, you have something to bait the arrows. Then you can make the opponent actually rage a lot of the times, because you know it's kind of annoying to deal with her. So we will go on into the next evolution. We're in the tier B. So to be honest, I don't know if I should leave something else in tier B. Maybe I will leave the archers. Yeah, I will leave the archers in tier B, mainly because arrows are meta. If arrows are out, by the way, if you're playing like some competitive format or just mainly the meta is not arrows, archers will be definitely tier A, but the fact that they die to arrows is just tier B. I think archers are just pretty good. You know what? I love archers, so why not? We will just put it in A because we can also synergize this card with a lot of archetypes. We can use it in X-Bow, we can use it in Hawk, we can use it in RG. In RG is quite good. We can use it in Lava Hound. If you're gonna play archers in Lava Hound, make sure you have a Inferno Dragon at least, so you have some solid TPS. We can use it in Graveyard. We can use it in quite a lot of decks. So I like archers because the evolution actually deals a lot of damage. So they are like a mini P.E.K.K.A, pretty much, a range mini P.E.K.K.A. So whenever we can use like the best of her ability, I'll say it's pretty broken, right? So let's go with the next evolution, and now we will have the Evo Knight, and the Evo Knight remains as one of the best evolutions ever. You know what? I'll say it's tier S. I'll continue later, but I'm pretty sure it's tier S because we can use it in X-Bow, in Giant, in all the strong decks in the meta. We have the Evo Knight, mainly because it tanks so good the dodges. That's the main factor, because it's so good, and the fact that it's just 3 elixir. It still remains as one of the best evolutions, and it's also super versatile. We can use the Balloon Cycle, Lock Bait, Golem, Giant, P.E.K.K.A. I don't know. I mean, I think in almost every single deck, if you have Evo Knight, you should definitely try the Evo Knight. There is no way you don't try it because it's so good. Well, going together with the tier A, we will have the Evo Skellies. I think Evo Skellies, well, now since they got nerfed, of course they are not as good, but the fact that there is so many arrows and way many locks make the Evo Skellies way more powerful, because now if you got the evolution, the opponent needs to waste 3 elixir on them, and now Lockbait is pretty popular. I'll say some cycle decks also like Mortar become way valuable because Evo Skellies, you cycle him so quickly because you have a champion or a faster cycle, and the fact that the opponent needs to most of the times overspend with Evo Skellies, I don't know, makes a lot of decks valuable. So that's pretty much. And I mean, Evo Skellies also, if you got a troop that you want to protect, and if you put Evo Skellies, for example, a Little Prince, and someone wants to kill the Little Prince with a Void, if you put the 4 Skellies to, you know, kind of prediction, the Void is pretty much useless because there are 4 and the other unit is 5, and Void against 5 units, it's kind of bad. So that's why Evo Skellies are so good. RG, Lockbait, Miner Cycle, Hawk, Golem, Lava Hound, X-Bow, again, Mega Knight even. There is still a lot of combinations for the Evo Skellies, and that's why they're so good. You can use them in pretty much any archetype. I'll say, for example, if you have these 2 evolutions, you should definitely try RG or Evolution RG. You can use like any of these evolutions are pretty good. X-Bow, and some mortar cycle decks. For example, if you have Evo Skellies and Evo Archers, definitely try to play a mortar cycle deck. If you have Little Prince, even better. So, okay, let's go now with the tier A. Again, I'll put here Evo Bulk, and I really like a lot. Evo Bulk. I don't know if I love her feet. Nah, I'm kidding. But the fact that now Evo Bulk kills bats, spirit goblins, a lot of things like that, makes the card so good. And since there is so many Night Witch, for example, in the meta, there is Graveyard, you know, there is a lot of these units which are like swarmy, you know, makes Evo Bulk so good against balloons. She's great if she's pulling the tank or any ground troop. I like the fact that the NATO that she does also deals damage, so I'll say that's pretty good. If you want to pair the Evo Bulk, make sure to use a XC. It's great if you have XC Bulk cycle, for example, with Trill. Is just super good. With Graveyard also works pretty well, and I think this is one of the hidden gems in the evolution aspect. I think Evo Bulk is pretty good, and it's pretty much underrated at this point. So, all right, let's go with the tier A. I think we're done with tier A, actually. All the other evolutions are pretty good. Well, you know what? I'll leave Evo Bomber in A. Evo Bomber is pretty good. Of course, is it still the same broken card, but not as broken, because now it's 2 cycles, and you can keep track easily, you know, the cycle of the Evo Bomber. So I will leave it in A. Still pretty good evolution. Drill, Giant, Lava Hound, X-Bow, cycle, like Seeming Hog, you can use it. I don't know, still plenty of good combinations, and the damage is so good to defend Evo Wizards, for example, is pretty good. And now we will have our dearest friend, the RG. And why is tier S? Is really RG that strong, Adrian? No, but it's free, because in the most newest event in Clash Royale, they were gifting Evolution RG, and since it's free, it's broken pretty much. So, and of course, I think also does quite good against all the meta. For example, if you have like Monk and Evo Wizard, RG becomes unstoppable against cycles and against giants. It only gets rough against Lava Hounds, for example. But besides that, you beat Mega Knights, you beat pretty much anything, Expo, so blah blah blah. So it's free and it's broken. So make sure to check out my video. I made a video about the best 5 RG decks if you want to try out. So yeah, I mean, RG is just pretty good. All right, so that's why he's in tier S, because he's for free. All right, now we're gonna be using the Evo Tesla. Man, Evo Tesla is broken. They nerfed Evo Tesla's life to like a normal Tesla, you know. But now when a troop kills the Evo Tesla, it throws a electroshock wave. I don't know how to say it. So, and that's pretty broken. That's pretty broken, because if you're about to break through, then Evo Tesla pops, and then it helps clearing the whole push. So it's kind of annoying. I don't know if Evo Tesla should get another nerf too, because of course it's kind of hard when you're playing a defensive meta. But I mean, if they nerf Evo Tesla, I don't know which other structure should be valuable. You know, like Inferno is decent, but boy, Rex Inferno pretty much. So yeah, Evo Tesla is so good. Pretty much you can use it in RG, Lock Bait, cycle, for example, like Miner, Graveyard Cycle, X-Bow, Mortar, like everything. Like just throw Evo Tesla there. I even see E-Giant. E-Giant with Evo Tesla also works. So let's go with the last evolution. Now we will have the Evo Wizard, and people sometimes underestimate Evo Wizard, because I know it's just the regular wizard with the shield, but the fact that you can't kill the Evo Wizard in the other side of the map, you need a poison, pretty much like poison lock to kill it. It's just broken, because if you have a lightning or if you have a fireball and you have no way to kill the Evo Wizard, it just takes a lot of value. Definitely, it's just more about the value that he provides in defense, because he's pretty much immortal. And I mean, he can just die, you know. Of course, like poison decks are pretty good against these kind of decks, but in beatdown he does amazing, because you can really kill the Evo Wizard. Only with the Void is like a direct counter, but you can still pretty much counter the Void. So yeah, I'll say this is the best evolution tier list, at least for me. What I'm taking care here, like what I'm trying to to explain to you guys is like the tier S, A, and B are the evolutions that you should be using or building your decks around, because these evolutions does great against dodges, for example, and the ones in the tier C and F, they're a little out of the meta because all the cards that people is using, you know. So it will be harder for you if you're using these evolutions. If you have them already, don't worry, you can still make these evolutions work. You just need to make sure you have you know, like the best decks for it. But don't worry, I will upload videos for you guys so you can also know how to use these evolutions in a bad meta. But if you're looking to get your Evo shards, you should be definitely focusing in these 3 rows here that you see. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.